What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, you watching the Ragin Nation show. This is just a web series where we're talking about all things that matter to me in the world of movies. Let's talk about the Lego Movie. The Lego Movie, if you haven't already seen it, is awesome, and I've done a review for it. It is all positive, and if you want to check out the review, click right here. But what I gotta say about Lego is that it is a huge success. After 2 weekends, maybe even 3 weekends now, they have made $200 million worldwide. And what does that mean? You guessed right, a sequel. Sequel, spin-offs, everything. And when I mean spin-offs, it turns out that Lego and also the studios are interested in making a Ninjago movie possibly before the Lego Movie sequel. Now, if you don't know what Ninjago is, it is basically Lego, but the theme is ninjas. So I'm down for that. I love Lego, and I think that the idea of a Ninjago movie is pretty awesome. Now let's talk about the sequel, and it looks like that the Lego Movie sequel has officially secured a date for May 26, 2017. Now the only movie that I know that's already secured a date for 2017 is one of the Avatar sequels. So Lego is really moving forward with their big sequel, and you know it's going to be big because $200 million worldwide in like 2 weeks, that's pretty awesome, alright? So there you have it. Moving on, let's talk about Terminator Genesis. If you don't already know, Terminator Genesis is the reboot for Terminator, and it's going to be a full-on, origin story. So, but they're going to change things up a bit. They are going to change things up. Now, we already got Sarah Connor is being played by Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. John Connor is going to be played by Jason Clarke from Zero Dark 30, and Kyle Reese is now officially confirmed to be played by Jai Courtney, who was in Live Free or Die Hard. He starred as John McClane's son, and he also fought Tom Cruise in Jack Reacher. And I think that he has the persona and the attitude to play a Kyle Reese character. So that's confirmed, so that's some pretty interesting news. Moving on, let's talk about The Raid. Now, you guys already know that The Raid, Barandal, okay, the Raid Barandal, which is the sequel to The Raid, or The Raid Redemption, if you're talking about the U.S. release. Anyways, it's all confusing. But anyways, the Raid sequel is coming out on March 28th. Okay, and if you don't already know, it's a kick-ass Indonesian martial arts flick. Okay. But The Raid Barandal, which is the sequel, comes out in North America in March 28th. But it looks like that American studios want to make a U.S. remake of The Raid. And they already got Expendables 3 director Patrick Hughes to be the director. He signed on to direct the U.S. remake of The Raid. And they're eyeing the Hemsworth brothers. That would be Liam Hemsworth and Chris Hemsworth to play the leads in the U.S. remake of The Raid. Now, do we need a U.S. remake of The Raid? To the studios, yes they do, because they want to milk the movie for all it's worth, or at least the concept, okay? But do audience really want to see a U.S. remake of The Raid? Of course not. They already have a U.S. version of The Raid, and that is the current Raid that's out there because it's being released in North America. We all can read subtitles. We all can also turn on the English dubbing, which probably is terrible, but the fact is that the language of action and martial arts and kick-butting I mean, kicking butt is a language in itself, and it speaks on its own. It speaks for itself. So why do we need a US remake? I think it is stupid. I think that the American studios should waste their time on other movies, or rather spend their time on other movies. I think what they should be spending their money on, rather than remaking stuff, is spending their money on bringing in more awesome international films to be distributed more widely. But anyways, this is what's happening, and that is The Raid is being remade. Now, if they remake the Raid, you know what the movie's going to be ending up like? Well, it's a movie we've already seen, and that is Dredd. Dredd shares the exact same concept as The Raid. So I'm thinking that if you want to watch the US remake of The Raid, you've already seen it. Just go watch Dread. It's in 3D. Alright, moving on, let's talk about some Marvel news. And it looks like Marvel is finally moving forward with their Doctor Strange movie. Now, ever since they started, bringing in Guardians of the Galaxy, we knew that Marvel is heading into strange territory. That's strange territory, rather. I mean, it started off with Ant-Man, and then they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, and then they announced, now they're announcing Doctor Strange. So they're getting into the strange territory, but I'm okay with that because that's all part of the Marvel Avengers universe. It all ties in. So, the Doctor Strange movie was already, it was already hinted around that that's the movie that they want to make. That's the movie that they want to make next, or at least coming up, right? And Marvel does have a couple of dates secured for Marvel films for the future, but they haven't decided which film yet. Now, right now, all they want is that they're going to move forward with the Doctor Strange movie, but they do have some directors in mind. Now, they have Mark Andrews, who directed Brave, Jonathan Levine, who directed Warm Bodies, Nicola Arcel, who directed A Royal Affair, rather, and also this dude who directed the Michael Bay produced Welcome to Yesterday. Okay, so I've never seen any of those films, but all I know is that Doctor Strange is happening, and it's something to look forward to because it's the first Marvel movie that deals with magic. Okay, we were gonna see some magic with Mandarin in Iron Man 3, but they took the magic out of Mandarin and they made him an actor. So let's see some real magic with Doctor Strange, all right? Moving on, let's talk about another Marvel film that is happening, and that is the Fantastic Four reboot directed by Chronicle director Josh Trank. Now, this is a movie that I'm really, really looking forward to, mainly because the two Fantastic Four films that we last saw were quite a letdown. They didn't bring what the fans wanted, and I think that Josh Trank really knows his comic books. He knows his superheroes, and I think he can do a better job than Tim Story did with the Fantastic Four movies in telling a story, which is kind of ironic because his name is Tim Story. Anyways, so what's really big about the Fantastic Four reboot is that they've announced their Fantastic Four. And who they are is who I'm going to tell you right now. And that is Miles Teller for Mr. Fantastic, Kate Mara for Invisible Girl, Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch, and Jamie Bell for The Thing in the Fantastic Four reboot. What do you guys think about that? Well, I'll tell you what I think. Okay, I think that Kate Mara would play a good Invisible Girl. I also like the charisma that Michael B. Jordan has. I think that he can play, or rather be Human Torch, because Chris Evans set the standard for Human Torch. And Michael B. Jordan actually has that same kind of cocky persona, or at least I know he can play that because I've seen him in other movies. Jamie Bell as a Thing, now this is where I feel that is the most controversial, but I think it's a better choice than Michael Chiklis. Okay, now they cast Michael Chiklis in the Tim Story Fantastic Four movies mainly because they wanted someone who's a little bigger, and he's a decent actor, but they wanted him for his physique. Okay, and they put on a foam suit on him, which looked absolutely ridiculous. Now, when you get Jamie Bell, a lot of people will be thinking, "Oh my God, how's he gonna play the Thing? He's so skinny." Well, look at Mark Ruffalo. He's a great actor, but he played the Hulk perfectly. That's the Hulk we wanted to see. So it's not all about, size or whatever. It's about whether these guys can act. Okay? And Jamie Bell, I think he could pull off The Thing, because a lot of what makes up The Thing is, of course, the CG work, the digital artists. All right? So far, pretty solid cast. Now, Miles Teller, that's the only questionable one. I haven't really seen a whole lot of movies that he's in. He's been in some comedy movies, right? But I don't know what he'd be like as a Mr. Fantastic. I actually liked Ewan, what's that actor's name? The original guy, Ewan Grufford. I originally liked him as Mr. Fantastic, actually. I thought that he did a good job with him. I think that he really portrayed Mr. Fantastic as he's a very passive, I guess, nerd, okay? And someone who's just completely dedicated to his work. You know, he's not a Mr. Romantic type of guy because he can never seem to satisfy Invisible Girl. But anyways, I thought he played him well. That's one of the things that I liked about the original Fantastic Four films, all right? But Miles Teller, I don't know where they're going with that. You know, the guy's a kid. So, who knows? Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this video. What do you guys think about the four actors for the Fantastic Four, the new Fantastic Four reboot? I think that Josh Trank is going to do a good job. I think he knows what he's doing. He's a good storyteller, and I have faith in him. So there you have it. That's all I got to say in this video. Let me know your thoughts on anything that I've talked about in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed... Excuse me. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, @RaginNation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Later on in the movie. But this time, right away, he's self-aware, and that makes it harder to believe because it's just